artists in the world. Generally, I'm just saying, in this moment right now, J. Cole is killing it.
Yeah, he's definitely been on. So he definitely had a good run lately. Like probably his best example of like what he can really do is Middle Child, because like just like listening to that, you're just like it's like a wave is washing over you. It's like, wow, that was really good.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Billboard chart, but obviously this is the first week. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
I think Offset's album will go number 1, but more of Gunna's songs are going to be on the chart.
Interesting. So Offset's albums are going to sell more in total. All right, that'll be interesting. Right now, the number 1 album is Ariana Grande's, and followed by Star Is Born, and Bohemian Rhapsody, and then Hoodie Season. Which, by the way, I thought that there was going to be another A Boogie project release at some point, but
on Instagram he decided to drop it when his first artist drops, goes platinum. Then he'll drop Artist 2.0.
Oh, that's interesting. So he's like, you gotta give me something to get a little something back, I guess, is what it is?
I guess because Hoodie Season was still number 1, and like, why drop another album if your other album you just dropped is number 1 for still?
Yeah, that makes sense. Certainly, you gotta let it breathe, definitely a little bit.
You gotta let the hype die down a little bit, and then boom.
Yeah. So that is what's going on with Lil Pump. And just looking at the charts right now for top 50 West, I'm just going to go on Spotify right now. I mean, I don't think any of the songs are on here yet because they're all mostly.
Yeah, I agree. For Pump on Apple Music, I'm pretty sure there's no songs there. I'm going to check in a second.
There's no.
I'm pretty sure there's nothing in Apple Music either.
Be Like Me is number 40. But yeah.
Let me just check in Apple Music.
It's only been out a day, so yeah, that's the thing.
Right.
But yeah.
But then again, Gunna and Offset are just killing it.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
No Pump songs are in top 50.
Let's move on to Gunna here. Gunna dropped the new Drip or Drown 2. That's a mixtape, I believe. And I was like,
it's basically an album. So
yeah, it's basically an album, but. Yeah, so it's for all intents and purposes, it's a pretty much an album. But like, what stood out to you on that project?
This was my favorite album I dropped.
Huh.
You know, I like Lil Baby a lot, and I was like, kind of okay, but not as good as Lil Baby. But this album really showed me what Gunna could do, and I'm loving Gunna's album right now. I'm listening to his songs like regularly. They're very good. The beat's good. The flow's good. The beginning song's kind of slow, except for With It and One Call. But besides those, the beginning songs are slow. But then from like the 8th song with Lil Baby from down, I like almost all of those songs, and it just shows that like you can't just judge a rapper just because just because you think he's not as good as his another one.
Yeah, you got to let Gunna stand out. I think this really definitely was kind of a standout project for him. And
right.
Was this what he's done? He did the collab with Lil Baby, obviously, I think, right? And yeah, he's done Drip or Drown 2 and Drip Harder and Drip Season 3.
He's done Drip or Drown 2, Drip Harder, Drip Season 1, Drip Season 2, Drip Season 3, and Drip or Drown 1.
Yeah. So again, I think we're starting to see somewhat of a common theme with him about dripping. But it's so interesting there. If you haven't gotten around to listening to the Gunna album yet, the thing to know is the second half, 8 songs on, from our music correspondent Hudson says the 8th song and on are the better. The second half of the album is the better half of the album.
Yeah, the second half of the album is just, in my opinion, way better. But, I know a lot of people like With It, which I like too, and One Fall, but the second half is killing it. Baby Birkin's my favorite.
All right, now probably to the biggest album of them all, even though maybe it's not your favorite, Hudson, is the Offset album, and I think this is like a lot of marquee names in this, especially the one that's going to have a lot of people's attention. Of course, Offset and Cardi B kind of reuniting for a song called Clout. That was another that was probably one of the biggest songs on that album. Father of Four is the name of it. What do you think of that one?
Well, first of all, I think Cardi B and Offset are back together, actually.
Yeah, I think it's confirmed.
Before the album dropped, I think.
Yeah.
But You know, the album's good. I haven't actually listened to, like, the ending songs. I have to do that, but, you know, it's good. It's good. It's definitely a more personal side of Offset. The first song, I love the first song, Father of Four. It definitely gives you a look into his life, and, like I didn't know he had 4 children. I had no idea, but now I do. And, you know,
I thought he had 1.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, I like his more personal side. He was explaining, like, with his daughters, like, his song to his kids, and I love that. But personally, I think over when you have a album with someone who's in a group of 3, you know, it's all the same flow. And, you know, having the same flow over and over again, I'm not saying it's bad, just, you know, it needs, like, a feature, or otherwise just gets boring and stale. Like, I just didn't enjoy, you know, listening to almost the same song. I mean, the beat were different, you know. Sometimes it was good. But personally, I think he just needed to switch his flow. It all sounded the same.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really hard to distinguish any kind of, like, individuality between, and by the way, if you're wondering, that was a Father for the track that Hudson mentioned that we were playing over. But yeah, so that it's really hard to get any individuality between the 3 of the Migos, and it's always good to see that. Probably Offset has kind of had an underrated solo career so far. I mean, he's had some really good features, and of course he did some pretty good. He did a very nice collab album in Without Warning, and yeah, so that could be all.
Agree. I think out of 3, you know, all 3 Migos have dropped the solo album. You know, I would list it in the order they dropped it backwards. You know, I would go Offset was number 1. Obviously, I think that was a great album. Take Off number 2, and I think Quavo really can't hold his own when he's by himself. And you know, it shows. You know, when you have to be put by yourself, you gotta see who's the best one. And you know, everyone loves Quavo because his little parts, his speeches are amazing. But when you have to give him a whole album, you know, he can't do it by himself.
Yeah, there's always a test for rappers. Is like, especially those who are in a group, like, can you go solo? For example, if you look like French Montana, like but think about it. Someone said this, I think, I forget where I heard it, but someone said it was like, it just hit me, like, that's so true. Like, any major song with French Montana in it is always with someone else, and it's so important to establish yourself as a real artist. You got to have that solo feature where you're either just like you're a smash hit, or you just spit some really have really good flow, like have great lyrics, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And I definitely think Offset did that several times on this new album. All right, Hudson, that's it for New Music Friday. Thank you so much for coming on, and enjoy.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Enjoy the rest of your vacation, the last day.
You too.
All right, appreciate it, Hudson. Thank you very much. All right. We are going to move on to the Oscars. We're going to give you the official guide. Here it is. Don't watch it. It's a waste of your time. Go to bed. Get some sleep. The American Society of Pediatricians or whatever says you need a lot of sleep. You have a busy life. You don't need to watch the Oscars. Anything you can see, you can look at the videos. It's really not that worth it unless you are associated with any way with any of the films. It's just that simple. Just do it. If you're bored, just watch the Oscars. I mean, I guess that's fine. You can watch the Oscars, but it's really pointless. And if you're thinking, oh, should I watch it? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. It doesn't even have a host this year. What's the point? All right, that's pretty much my public service announcement for the day. All right, that is it for us. It has been For the Win. Everyone, really appreciate it. Thanks so much to Hudson. And we will see you next week, everybody.